Hi there and welcome. Today is our final day for the enrollment for the membership, the Naturally Recovering Autism membership to be open. And I want to make sure that I can answer any remaining questions you might have, any reason why you might be sitting on the fence and haven't joined yet. Unless you already have, I'm really, really excited to see that so many parents have been joining. We have a lot of new members. And I built this program for you, for parents of children with autism, because I had struggled just like you are, hunting and pecking through the internet, spending tens of thousands of dollars on various practitioners and therapists, yet getting nowhere. And I know how challenging that is and how worrisome it is about your child's future, and you want to help them get better. And it's not due to your lack of commitment. I know you have that. But what I do know also is that usually the program parents are doing things wrong, and it's not to your fault. You just don't know what to do. Nobody's really teaching you. I have parents telling me right and left all the time their child was sent home with a handful of supplements or even drugs from the doctor's office, and it just made their child worse, and you don't know how to get them better or why they got worse. And there's just so much knowledge to know about autism recovery and our children's sensitive needs, because they are very sensitive. You can't just treat everyone the same, because they're all unique, and everybody should move forward, especially in detoxification, with the right support supplements in place, with the knowledge of what to do if you see symptoms increase, because that's very, very common, and it's called die off. And as we have talked about recently, in case you missed the empowerment program, the reason that this works so well is because I cover all four stages of autism recovery. The first is setting up this foundation, which is so important for healing the gut and supporting the detoxification pathways. And the gut controls 80% of the brain, and or controls the brain, actually, much of the brain, and 80% of the immune system. So it's really important to understand that. And I didn't know that as well when I first started. My child would get a lot worse first. And then I'd think, what is going on? Well, then I learned how to manage those die off symptoms so we can reduce them and even hopefully eliminate them sometimes. As the body's detoxifying, it lets off, especially as we start killing off pathogens in the body, then they release more toxins. So our kids are so overloaded already with toxins that they can't really take anymore. Their body just can't handle anymore. And so we have to support those detoxification pathways, and it has to be done properly. Now, whether you've been on the journey for years, even decades, or you're brand new to the process, this program can help you. I've worked with parents who have been trying again for decades. You can listen to one of them right there on the membership page where you can join and learn all about the membership. We also have set up some very, very kind members have shared in either text or some in video about their success stories with their children from being in the Naturally Recovering Autism membership program. And all of that is available to you right now at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/membership. It's here with the video. And I want you to make sure that you go to that page today before enrollment closes at midnight tonight, because I don't want you to wish you had gotten into the program and then have to wait months to get in again. And then you're still sitting there with, no help, no support, no real guidance or plan. And everybody knows a little bit usually now about diet, right? Maybe you've heard gluten-free or casein-free, but it's so much more than that. Not only the diet alone, there's so much more to do with the diet, knowing the right foods to eat, all of them, and the wrong foods to avoid and why, because we're otherwise causing more inflammation and more harm to the gut, so their gut won't heal. And then their brain and behaviors don't get better. So we're talking about improved sleep, improved social ability and speech, language issues can be improved greatly. I have parents, again, one woman, her name's Karen, she's on also, and she's on this membership page link that I have for you. And she is in a video sharing how her 27-year-old son was nonverbal. She had fought so hard for so many years trying to get him better. Nothing was working. And within a couple of months in my program, he's not only speaking, but he's reading books with her. So this is the kind of thing that can happen. It is possible. I was told my son couldn't get better and that there was really nothing we could do but drug him and try behavioral therapies. And fortunately, my background as a craniosacral therapist studying the brain let me know the brain can and does heal. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get him better, find out what the causes were, not just mask symptoms, especially with drugs that have dangerous side effects that could make him worse. So fortunately now I took me a decade, but my son's symptoms are gone. And I always say everybody's level of recovery is different because every child is unique, but they can improve, absolutely improve, and live happier, healthier, and definitely more fulfilling lives. And many kids have become so calm. Parents tell me this all the time, including my own son, where they used to be really irritated or agitated. Some parents are afraid of their children. They're having violent tantrums at home. And so then they were saying, wow, I can't believe how calm my child is now. And there's so much more peace in the home. And I think that you can probably relate to that too, because I think it's a common theme and know that you're not alone in this. And that, unless you have a child of your own with autism, people just don't get it. They don't understand. They don't know what it's like at home and the isolation because you can't just take your child everywhere or they can't go to parties or they miss out on things because sometimes they're just not capable or their behaviors can be too extreme. This can make them be able to calm down so much that one boy, his mom was in the program. They were told he couldn't improve. He had very severe symptoms. Has been moved from special ed into regular classes. Is now getting at the top of his class where he could barely focus before. He now has friends. He's having a birthday party this week, and he's making up the invitation. He used to hide from kids in the classroom because he was so afraid of social engagement. And now that's all over. So, this is the kind of thing that I hope to get you results with for your child. But we don't know what those results are going to be for any child unless you're on the right path, knowing what to do and how to do it in the right sequential order, which I lay them out for you step by step to simplify it. And this is all to help you save a lot of time and the money on things that don't work and running around trying to figure it out yourself. My point is to help streamline this process to help you get the best results possible for your unique child. And after we start with stabilizing that foundation, which I call stage one, and starting to work on healing the gut and getting those detoxification pathways supported, then we move to stage two, which is natural and safe heavy metal detoxification. Very different from the drugs that you get at the doctor's office for chelation or heavy metal detoxification, because those allow for absorption of the toxins back into the body as they're trying to be excreted. And then it sends it all the way into the bloodstream and then redistributes those toxins back into your child. So now you have usually more problems. The other one, the DMSA you get at the doctor's office, will also pull the good minerals like calcium and magnesium out of your child. So we don't want to do that either. They're already depleted. We don't want to pull more. So there is a natural, safe, and very easy way to do this. And it's so easy. It's a spray and it tastes like water and you spray it in the mouth. I mean, and it gets in the cells, which is very important. So a lot of people, you don't want to have to give an IV to your child, or they won't take large pills or can't. And that's completely understandable because they have sensory issues in their mouth that makes it hard for them. Same thing with picky eaters. I give you a whole guide, by the way, on how to help transition your child who is a picky eater, because that is really common in children with autism. And mine was once upon a time as well, so I've lived through it, but he's not anymore at all, and neither are many of the parents I've helped. And so this is, again, a slow process. It's not going to be an overnight fix, but you can improve all of these things so they can absorb the nutrition from the food they eat as well. And then stage 3 is the most commonly missed or done incorrectly, and that is clearing the co-infections of autism, like mold and Lyme and strep, parasites. And so these things are really important. And you might have heard of PANS, which is where the immune system's overreactive and it starts attacking the brain and they get extreme symptoms like OCD, obsessive compulsive. They start stimming more, they regress, can even lose speech again when they were starting to get it. There's so many things that I have to share with you. And then stage 4 is important to know that I do those lastly, brain support and repair, because you don't want to be just, overwhelming your child's system with new therapies, which are, for one, a tremendous expense. And if your child's brain is too toxic and inflamed, then they can't do the things they're asked of, and they might even want to. My son used to say, "Mom, I want to, but I can't." So, this was not only were we losing money on things that weren't working, but he was also having his self-esteem affected. Like, he was so smart and we knew it and we thought, why can't he do this? Now he's a college graduate with graduated with almost straight A's and B's in college all the way through once his brain healed. So this is what's important to follow these stages. And I walk you through each one in the right order. So that's why it's important. So many other programs miss pieces. They have you do all these expensive tests that are unnecessary. They're giving you things in the wrong order. They're giving you the wrong supplements or trying to tell you to drug your child, which doesn't help them, and most people say makes their child worse, but it also will just mask symptoms even temporarily if it does even help them. We want to get to the root causes of things, and that's what I'm all about, is naturally and safely being able to help your child to reach their full potential. And so this program again has been out for about 7.5 years, and it's had tremendous success. And I would love to be able to help you, but I can only do that if you join the program and you commit to doing the steps, because I can guide you, but it is up to you. So I work with committed parents who are serious about getting their children a lot better now. If you just kind of like want to check things out maybe and you don't want to really do anything, then don't join, because it won't, it it's pointless. I mean, you really need to just be willing to. But I also don't want you to be afraid of that, because fear and doubt of our own abilities and all that come forward right away when we hear that. And, the reality is you'll need to be doing it no matter what. Even if you're seeing a practitioner and they send you home with a handful of drugs or even supplements, natural things, have you really been instructed well how to use those? Most people have not. Do you have the knowledge of what they'll do? Do you have the knowledge about what to do when die-off symptoms arise? If you don't, you're just going to end up more frustrated, more overwhelmed, stressed, and spending a lot of money and time on things that don't work. And worst of all, your child's not getting better. So this is where I help to educate you. I have 17 years of autism recovery expertise and my own child success on the recovery process. And I've helped parents now this program's in over 40 countries. Worldwide, you just need to have basically a phone or a laptop or some type of Wi Fi to access the private membership program. And all you need to do is go to this link here with this video, naturallyrecoveringautism.com/membership, to learn everything the membership program offers you, and to learn from other parents what kinds of success they've had. So you can just hear from some of them. Uh, because I think that's helpful rather than you just hearing it from me. You want maybe some verification, and I totally understand that. I know how many people are out there trying to push things on us parents of children with autism, and I am here because I feel a bit protective, honestly, of my community, and I want to make sure that you're getting the right resources. And for this very little bit of money that I charge for this program that keeps everything going, that you are able to access my thousands of hours and 17 years of autism research, plus help my experience helping hundreds of parents worldwide and the success I've had with my own son personally living it as well. So I see a couple questions coming in here. Let me just see what. Hi, Sudip. When I've gone through your website, I came to know about the Jumpstart, which what's it all about? Well, it's funny. We actually have been meaning to take that off so it doesn't confuse members. You don't have to go there, Sudip. You have access to everything. The Jumpstart was just to like little bits to start in the beginning, but it's not something that you need to do because you want to follow the quick guide to getting started, which is much more thorough. And you have joined the full membership program. So you're like a VIP. You have everything. And again, remember, you don't need to look at everything else that you'll be doing in the future because it's one step at a time on your child's timeline. So just go to that quick guide to getting started right on the introduction page. It's also at the bottom of the supplement page and just follow those in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, one thing at a time. And it explains, if you see heightened symptoms happen, then don't be afraid to back off and slow down again. This is, again, there's no hurrying up, there's no timeline. It's not like we're doing this week and this next week. We're basically going through, you're taking what's there. And that's why I give access to the entire program right up front rather than a little bit, because everybody moves forward at a different pace. And, some people are in module 1 for months, and that's okay. That's how it should be. You're the best gauge of your child's symptoms. So you want to follow what your child is capable of doing, how quickly their body can detoxify, how quickly they're able to move forward to the next supplement. And they're just done one thing at a time when they're ready. And that basically right now is letting symptoms be your guide. Do practice the muscle testing because it can be very, very helpful in the future along this journey to ask acceptance of a food or any supplement or anything like that at first. And then if it's okay, then you ask for the dosages because sometimes a little bit's okay. Same with food, but a lot is not. So that's why that can be really helpful. But until you have that down or feel comfortable with it, just let symptoms be your guide. We don't want to ever add in more than one supplement less than closer than 2 to 3 days apart. And that's only if they don't have heightened, their symptoms aren't increasing. Because we just want to make sure their detoxification pathways are first getting supported well. And it is a process. So take your time. This is where I hope that you see that all of the confusion and the whirlwind that you've likely been in before the program can help you to feel a little bit more calm about the process and know that you now have an exact specific sequential plan to follow, and again on your child's timeline with the education of each supplement and each step telling you what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how to do it so that you have this information, because it's key when you're at home implementing these steps. Again, even if you're seeing a practitioner and they send you home with things, you don't have this information. So it's important to understand this program gives you that. So please allow this to help your body and your life and your mind have more peace and be able to be calmer in the process, knowing that you're in the right place, you've got a plan. It's helped hundreds of people worldwide, but you've got to implement, and again, slowly. So just one thing at a time. So don't worry about anything. Just follow for now the quick guide to getting started. And for those of you listening who are looking at the program, the membership program, when you click on this membership link here with the video, it will take you to that page that I mentioned with all of the information about what the program offers you, what the membership offers you, what you'll get, testimonials from parents who have shared success stories, and then the link to join. And there are 2 options for you to choose for yourself, whatever works best. You click on that, and right away, you fill out a very, very short form. Once you submit that, within 5 minutes, you will have an email in your inbox with a login for the private membership site. and access to it with some first steps to getting started so you know what to do. It'll take you right to a start here page, an introduction, so you'll get familiar with how the website works, where to find things. But also, what I'm talking to Sudiv about is this quick guide to getting started so you know exactly where to begin. So it's really, really important. And there's some really wonderful education in the program for you as well, because it is important to know what you're doing, how to do it, and how to implement things and safely so that we're not doing too much too fast. Um, So yeah, you'll have the complete program because we want A to Z. We don't just want to do a little bit of detoxification. If you want the full potential for your child, you really need to go through all 4 stages that I mentioned. And that's what's super important. It is the absolute best place that you can be is in the full membership program. So congratulations and welcome. I'm excited to have you. Noah, you have a question about activated charcoal. I started my child and he is having the best and worst detox symptoms. Best, worst. Rashes all over the body and itching in both eyes. I've been taking him 3 baths per day with bentonite clay and Epsom. Can you tell me how long it should be on the capsules? And also, I want to start the zeolite and collagen. So, Noah, there's a couple of things here. So charcoal can be really helpful. Again, needs to be taken away from food for it to really be able to absorb the toxins. If you're in the program, we use that as a side adjunct for extreme symptoms, but there's something else, another binder that you could take that you take with or without food, and it's a liquid, so that's a little easier. But the activated charcoal is something everybody can kind of get mainstream, even at a health food store. Although I did link to it if you took the empowerment program, because it's something that people could get easily, and I wanted you to just have access to it right away. But so they're starting to detoxify, and what's happening is it's the as things are moving through, as the toxins are trying to release from your child's body, they're not able to pass quickly enough and get out and be excreted fast enough. The skin, the urine, and the feces are the 3 ways that we expel toxins. So rashes are very common. Now he's obviously detoxifying very rapidly. So depending on what else you're doing, and I don't know what else you're doing there, if it's just the activated charcoal, or if you have somebody else has given you supplements, or if you have been on anything else. I don't know what that is, but I can tell you 2 things you mentioned here are that the 3 baths a day. So bentonite clay is going to help him or have him start detoxifying a little bit more and pulling it out likely through his skin. That it may not be right for him. It also may not be a good product. There's a lot of really bad clays out there that have contaminants in them. In my membership program, you will get the best of the best products that have been well researched. They're the highest quality. No, you'll know how to use them, and they're very specific for that reason, because there's a lot of contaminants and a lot of really bad products on the market. So again, if you're doing the clay, I don't know who it's from, and I'm not going to go into answering a lot of questions about what about this supplement, about what, but this is where it's a good example to show that it could be that it's pulling too many toxins out too quickly. The other thing you mentioned here are Epsom salts baths. Now, Epsom salts is a type of magnesium. We are all deficient in magnesium and need it. But what happens if the sulfation pathways, now I'm getting a little bit of slightly sciencey on you, but basically I'm going to tell you sulfation means that the detox pathways are not working properly. And when you see heightened symptoms like this or hyperactivity from either magnesium or Epsom salts, it's that their body cannot process the toxins out fast enough again. So that is also contributing. If it's not calming your child down in the bath, the Epsom salts, but making it more hyper, then it's very likely those sulfation pathways have not been supported properly, which is why I keep going back over and over and over. Even parents that I've worked with that have been on the journey for decades have usually not done the first steps and stabilize the detox pathways properly. In my membership program, you will, and you will know what to do, how to do it, and if you're doing things like this, which I won't have you do right away, I will educate you on it though, so you know if this is happening, what is stirring up these symptoms. So my suggestion is to back off for now. Stop the Epsom salts and clay baths, and in just using some charcoal away from food for a few days. You need to let his body catch up. And, sometimes stopping everything. Now, if the activated charcoal is helping for those few days, then that can be really important to understand. Um, that you can use it again for, I say maybe up to about 5 days, and then you should take a break. It's not one of the binders that we can use all the time, because it does absorb from some other supplements and things in the and nutrition in the body, if it's taken anywhere near food. I mean, it's not going to really hurt to take it for a week. I'm just saying that you don't want to take it long term without stopping. So yeah, I would say to stop the baths. If you have not joined my membership program, please do, because your child has obviously is loaded with toxins, and you need to know how to do this right. And again, whether you've been on the journey for years or you're brand new to the process, I have everybody start in the same place, because you might be able to move forward to, say, working with the co-infections or certain things maybe a little bit easier, more quickly, depending on how much detoxification you've done in the past with your child. But it's so common that parents have done this incorrectly, not supported it right, and that's why they're not getting the results they want, and why their child, they can't get them past the die-off symptoms and the reactions. This is a very, very slow process, and the more toxins your child has, the slower you actually need to go, not the faster. Because if you start pushing through it too rapidly, you'll get not only rashes, you can get extreme increased behaviors. I mentioned PANS, where the immune system starts attacking the brain. That can get triggered. It can also get triggered from mold, biotoxin exposure, Lyme disease, but rapid detox is one. So these are things that are important for parents to know on this recovery process, and most are not even informed about. So so that was actually helpful to be able to answer that, because I'm sure it helped a lot of people who are listening. You're not alone in this, and it's not your fault. You're not doing anything wrong. You're a great parent, and you're trying very hard, which I commend you for. That's fantastic. It's not a lack of a commitment from parents that I see. It is a lack of the right sequence, the right supplements, the knowledge of how to implement things. And that's what I offer you in this membership program, so that you can get the best results, but also in cutting down some of the time it might take you if you didn't have the right sequence or know what to do, and also then be getting you the best results with the least expense. You're not jumping around from practitioner to practitioner, or therapist to therapist, or buying one-off supplements here and there, trying to figure it out on your own, but not knowing what to do. So, this is to save you a lot of money in the long run from what you would spend hunting and pecking and trying to figure it out on yourself, or from what practitioners are charging most people. And one mom, just last week, she was being charged over, it was $2,478 for some tests that I said, honestly, those tests you don't really even need to do. I could tell you, yes, your child has, yeast overgrowth, and their gut has dysbiosis, all these things that are obvious. And if you work with them safe and naturally, then you can move forward. And that saves a lot of expense too, because tests are a big expense. And I'd rather see you use that money on the right program to have the get and gain the knowledge, and also on the right supplements that are actually going to help your child, and know how to use them. Again, you don't want to be jumping around. I don't want anybody jumping around when they come into the program either. Start at square one, even if you've been on the journey for a really long time, because there are often things that were missed. And it is so important to stabilize the foundation of those detoxification pathways and start healing the gut up because again, it sets the foundation for our immune health and our brain's ability to function at optimum. So very, very important. Uh, okay. Um, oh, good. I am so glad, Noah, that you're planning on joining uh, oh, Carlin just says Noah. Carlin, I remember you. Yes, you're funny. I'm so glad you're joining. I really, really, really am. Um, okay, Mohammed, can you please tell me what's the success rate for nonverbals? I've been using multiple therapies for years, but still verbal not coming. Also, can I get the supplements do you recommend outside the US, like Mexico, Canada, and France? Thank you in advance. Yes, Mohammed, I have parents in my membership program in over 40 countries successfully doing it. I give links to the very specific products, and you only purchase them when you need them, so it spreads the cost out too. You don't want to buy everything all at once, and I don't want you to because there's many you won't need for months. Right now, so there's a specific direct link to purchase from the company. I don't supply them from the company that they come from or a website. If a company offered, I always ask them, offered a discount of any kind, then you'll find a coupon code next to the link for that product too, if one does exist. If they offered it to me when I asked for you. So yes, parents have been able to get them the products they need worldwide. Um, Nonverbal, I have a high success rate, I would say. There are parents who have said they've been told by experts that their child would never speak, and today they're fully speaking. And then that's the story for many, many parents that I've worked with. And everybody's timeline is different, so you have to be patient. And again, everybody's outcome is different. But I'm many people who were told their child would never speak, or this woman, Karen, that again, you can go to this membership link and hear her story about her 27-year-old son who they had tried and tried and not gotten success. He had 2 word sentences, basically nonverbal, when she came into my program. And within 2 months, her son is talking and reading books with her. I mean, and she just can't believe it. But I'm grateful that she never gave up because I can see a lot of parents, there's a lot of naysayers out there like, oh, you've been trying really hard, but it's just not going to happen. Or, just this is as good as it'll get. They don't know that. Don't know, and no expert knows. Like I was told my son wouldn't get better. Today, all of his symptoms are gone. What if I hadn't tried? So this is why if you're in the right program with the right supplements and the right order. So I know of certain things that you are missing right now for speech that you're not getting. And I definitely offer those in the program, and it's a sequential order of various things that lead to that. So yeah, absolutely. I have a good strong success rate with helping parents improve their children's language. So Lavina, hi there. Your process will be very slow. Good. I'm glad to hear it. uh, since your daughter is 15 years old, as a teen, she's a rebel, but I bought a few things like collagen, almond starch, stevia, and the keto bars you recommended in the picky eating list. And I'll try a substitution for cheese. Can she drink soy milk? No, soy milk is really, really bad. Soy of any kind is very bad. Actually, it is um, a phytoestrogen. It messes with your hormone levels. It's a very high allergen. It's known to be inflammatory. And if it's in liquid form, like soy milk, it actually becomes an excitotoxin like monosodium glutamate or the artificial sweetener aspartame. They're called excitotoxins, and they actually excite the brain cells to death. They kill brain cells. So for milk substitutes, you want to look at things, kind of think in your mind of keto. You want to think coconut milk or almond milk or hemp milk are all good. Like I always mention the hemp just in case somebody's child has a nut allergy and they can't maybe do coconut or almond milk. But all 3 of those are good substitutions. And but make sure that you buy one that is organic and does not have any added sugars or any bad ingredients. Always, always read your labels. Sometimes it can look good and they'll have added something really bad to it. Um, so, uh, yeah, okay. Marve, hi. You signed up last night. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you. I have a lot of people coming in, and I'm so excited about it because I look forward to being able to truly help you get the results that you deserve, and really get you out of the chaos that I know that most parents, and like I was, are living in, and help this become a more peaceful process as you actually get results too. You signed up last night, have gone through the website. I'll admit there's a lot of info and it's overwhelming. I still do not know where to start. I went over the PDF and still do not know. Um, should I buy all the supplements? One, two, three, four. So no, Marve, just like I was just saying, you do not need to buy the things in the future. In fact, I don't even look at the rest of the website except for module one, part one, where the pages that are just educational for your own knowledge that are very helpful on the journey, like home environment protection or detoxification dosages and what to expect. So you learn some ways to naturally assist in some of those videos I share there on helping detoxification besides supplements. So those are kind of just more educational and helpful at your leisure. But as far as supplements and implementing, then the quick guide is all you need to look at right now. And the quick guide will tell you what page, and they're all in a sequential order in the quick guide, in the same order they're in the member site. So if you do look at everything else later on that you might not be doing for months, it could get overwhelming. I can see that. That's why I really say, even in that first steps email or in the quick guide, I'm usually saying only, start here and just get the first few supplements. You're only implementing one at a time and on your child's timeline. So if you notice heightened symptoms, that not to add in anything else and not to increase any dosages of anything that they're on. And if needed, if those symptoms don't calm down with that, then you even slow down and give less. And sometimes we'll even need to take a couple days off and let their body catch up. When symptoms subside, then you resume at the lowest dosage. So that is the safest and best way to proceed forward. So follow the quick guide, one thing at a time, on your child's timeline. So that's the best way to absolutely do it. Pat, hi, Grandma Pat again. I love grandmas. They're the best. You have your 12-year-old raging hormones. Yes, I remember. I think we talked yesterday or Monday. Um, Raging hormones, yes, everybody will see heightened symptoms in your child during puberty. It starts usually around the age of 12, really heightened between 12 and 17, because that surge of testosterone, especially in boys, when it combines with the toxins in their body, especially heavy metal toxins, things like mercury, those symptoms can get much worse. So that's why you'll see that. So raging hormones, massive tantrum granddaughter. You'll see them next week. So you're bringing activated charcoal for them to try, just one, to see if there's a reaction. Um, uh, I'll sit with them and hope I can go over your website. Remember, you said to only use it for a few days at a time. Please keep us in your prayers that we can get this family to be willing to work with you for the sake of this beautiful little girl. Yeah, I'm with you, Pat. Keep the faith, and it's always good to just, in your mind, if we dispel the worry, because whatever we fear we bring to us. So our thoughts and our mind have a lot about what is going on in our life. And so to switch that, we can have something positive that we override a negative thought with as a positive thought, and coming in and saying something like, I look forward to um, my granddaughter's parents, whatever her name is, her parents, or the parents' names, being open to learning more, and helping to want to and implementing these things to help my granddaughter improve and have a better life. Just something simple that you can start to uh, re- have as that positive thought that again takes over any negative thought. And that's the same case for anything in your life. So, because fear and worry can creep in and they can get us all stirred up, but they also draw more of that. And people feed off of that energy too. So, go in with kind of that simple, you're not trying to force something on them. You've learned about something new and it's safe I thought it would, be really great to try and see if we notice any differences. If she's a teenager at 15, I find if I'm having any die off or anything going on, that one activated charcoal will usually do it for me. So it depends on the sensitivity of the person or what's going on. Sometimes a very large adult might need a couple at a time, but you can start with one for sure for a 15-year-old and just see if you notice any differences at all. And even subtle, that's the thing too. And if it's enough once, but it is a way to at least start somewhere and see because I see that it's always hard when the parent isn't willing to learn or open to certain things like this to help their child. And they're so locked into either there's nothing wrong or that won't help, so we won't try it when they've never tried it and don't know. So really education is the key. But depending on somebody's personality, if they're kind of that controlling personality, they don't wanna be told what to do. They wanna make feel like it was sort of their idea in a sense. So, you could, bring them some information about it or share it with them. And I'll have my prayers out for you, Pat, that this girl's going to get help because it really is about the rest of her life. They do grow up. My son, was once a little boy with a lot of extreme symptoms. Today, he's a 27-year-old man who's a college graduate with a beard, and he's happy and healthy today. And I am grateful that I did the work that I did for him so that he would have the life he has now because I really don't know what it would have been like for him had I not done the things that I did. And it's why I created this program for you and for all parents of children with autism because I have lived these struggles and I know what it's like to have those sleepless nights, the worries, the concern, the fears about their future, and to not have an actual real plan that works and spending all this money on these practitioners, on these therapists. And, I mean, therapy is expensive. And, the Mohammed, I think you just mentioned about having, your child in speech therapies. These speech therapies of Nanti is right here on the top of the membership link site. She shared a video and we left it there. We have it there for you to listen to. But because she's had just tremendous success with her son, and she was really excited. "Oh, I wanna share my story. I want everybody to know." And I said, "Great. That would be really inspirational for others to hear from you." So, you can go listen to it again, naturallyrecoveringautism.com/membership. Nanti's is right at the top, of the page there, and then there are other parents that have shared, if you scroll down lower on the page as well. But she was spending $95 twice a week on speech therapies alone, which is not uncommon. It's really expensive, but if the brain is so toxic and inflamed, and those toxins are causing these language pathways to not be able to function right, then you're battling against, you're spending all this money, but battling against these obstacles that are main obstacles in the way. And you fall short of the results that you could have gotten had you gotten these underlying root causes out of the way. So that's really important to remember. Um, okay, where am I? Sylvina, oat milk. Nope. Oats are a processed carbohydrate. Even though some of them say, gluten free, they usually have cross contamination anyway, because the crops are grown very close to each other. But it's processed carbohydrate. Um, and other questions like that are best to ask me in the forum now that you're in the membership site. As you can see, I've laid things out and answered questions for most issues. But if you have any specific questions, especially health related, that's what the forum is for. So just go to the forum and the private member site and just type me in a question and I'll answer it there for you. Um, okay, where am I? Mamie? Hi there. I have your book. Do I still need to be a member? Oh, of course. I mean, I can only go so far in a book, right? In any book. To be in an experiential implementation site where you have the links to the products you need when you need them, knowing how to use everything, and it's thorough in A to Z. I can't give any of the proprietary organic herbal formulas for the co-infections out to anybody who is not an active member of the membership, and that is because the doctor who created them requires that because she knows you need my guidance to use them. Detoxification needs to happen properly before they start getting used. There are a lot of steps, especially in starting on some of the detoxification pieces that need to be done in order. So those that for all of those reasons, absolutely. So yeah, I think both are important to have for extra knowledge. But as far as really implementing and walking through it and having, of course, my support for any questions along the way, definitely the membership site by a mile, 10 miles. Nikki, you just joined. Oh, welcome. So happy to have you. Uh, to help your son who's 7. He has extreme anxiety and OCD. He was diagnosed with PANDAS, okay, back in December and was placed on antibiotics that only made things worse. And there we have it again. It's a common theme and it's not your fault because that's all the practitioners know. So made him worse. We stopped antibiotics and have been focusing on gut health in addition to starting the first supplements. What can help calm his anxiety? So it's funny. So the CBD link I have on the sensory and calming page in module 1, as I was saying a few minutes ago, there are some um, kind of placeholder helpful pieces in part 1 of module 1 before you even get to supplements. They're there just to help guide you with certain things. People write in about speech or constipation, so I made PDFs and guides to just those things to help along the way with everything else. And I was right before I got on this starting to make a video for a new herbal formula that is called CF, Calm and Focus, which can be used at any time. You can start it immediately. Many of the herbals you have to wait until a lot of detoxification has been done first. This is not one of those. This is for if you have like ADHD types of symptoms or focus problems, hyperactivity, they really can't settle down. And this one can be started right away because it's not killing off anything. It's not fighting a pathogen, so it's not going to cause any die off. And you can find that right now. I'm going to put that on the sensory and calming page, my new video that I'm making, but it's already on the page in module 1, introduction to herbal formulas. And I was explaining how normally you'll be working with the herbals a little later, but this particular product could be helpful right now. And it's really helpful too because you'll notice too on that page, at the bottom of that page as well, I have that guide. There's a guide to how to begin the herbal formulas when you're in a PANS flare, parasite flare, or Lyme or mold, like things are really up and you know it. Then we get some detoxification in, and that guide will tell you how, but then you'll want to look at the part that says when in a PANS flare on that PDF guide, when it says for specific symptoms. So that can be really helpful for you actually to look at now, since she's already obviously in a PANS flare. And then the antibiotics, why they made her worse is because they have affected the microbiome in her gut. Antibiotics are not discriminatory, so they will kill the good bacteria as well as the bad bacteria. And the good bacteria fights off the bad bacteria. So it goes in, the antibiotics kill everything or more of everything, but then they make her worse because now she doesn't have even a little bit more strength that she used to have from the good bacteria that fight the bad. And that is also causing more inflammation in her body and in her brain. Brain messengers. I talked about this, before, but the things like serotonin and dopamine, they're brain neurotransmitters, and they're made in the gut. 95% of serotonin receptors are in the gut. So if the gut's not working well, they can't be made. Well, what's serotonin do? It helps the brain do things like adjust to stabilizing sleep and mood stability and calming, some focus abilities, appetite satiety. Are those things important? Right? So all of this is really important. That's why we start with the gut. So go through and start implementing the diet changes as you can, as best you can. It's a process. So just slowly making those changes. Start with the quick guide. You want to get those binders started so that there's some detox pathways support there. The CF formula, I think, could be really helpful for you now for some calming. CBD is also calming too, and I've got a link on the sensory and calming page for that. And then there's also some videos that are really helpful for calming for some tutorials that I made as well. But and then we'll want to move her on to the PANS herbal formulas a little sooner than later. So start getting some of those binders in place and take a look at those PDF guides at the bottom of the introduction to herbal formulas that I mentioned, and look at what you'll do for PANS flare, because we want to stop that soon. PANS is something that does, the immune system again is attacking the brain. So that's where you're going to see those heightened OCD symptoms, the clinginess, the fearfulness, and we need to make sure that we work with it sooner than later, but we still have to get those detox pathways supported first. So the quick guide, and then you can look at the other things for soon education. And if you have questions, of course, along the way, just ask me in the forum. Um, Anito, doing the muscle testing doesn't work for me. Okay, that's okay. It takes time. For some people, it takes several months to really start, getting it. You can, what I just suggest is from that whole page of different types of muscle testing videos that I give you, really brief ones, just to teach you a different style of ways that it can be done. You only need one. You're going to pick one that works best for you, that feels the most comfortable, like the one you want to practice with and use. So in that, you pick one, maybe look at them, try them, and then you'll get one where you feel like, yeah, this one feels a little bit better. You're still learning new things there, so be kind to yourself and easy. It takes some time, but just keep practicing it because, and I always say practice with something like the name game, which is a simple thing. If you practice first on your child and asking a question about is a supplement right for them right now, or or their dosages, or something that is giving you fear because you're thinking, if I don't get this right, I'm going to mess something up. No, you just want to start practicing it. For now, just let symptoms be your guide. No problem. Symptoms are your guide. That's why we very slowly move forward again, never adding in or increasing any dosages closer than 2 to 3 days apart, and never continuing to increase or add in anything new. If there is a symptom arising, we want to slow down, let his body catch up, or her body, let their body catch up. So you're slowly implementing and practicing that muscle testing. The name game is like one way. I like the ring to ring one. You'll see it that, and you just kind of learn what you're not using a whole lot of heavy muscle strength. It's just a way to get a feel for it. So if I say my name is Karen, I can't pull them apart. It's not easy. I mean, if I really muscled it, I probably could. But my name is Karen. Now, if I say a name that's other than mine, my name is Kathy. My name is Christy. My name is Christy. My name is Kathy. My name is Karen. So that's basically a simple way, say your name, something for a fact, and then something that your mind knows is wrong. And that way, it's just a way to learn the assessment of how it works, how much strength to use or not use. If you're doing it and your fingers are tired afterwards, you've been using too much strength. Um, And there's a guide at the bottom of the page to other additional pieces like neurological switching, helping to stabilize the central nervous system before, staying well hydrated before you do it. But just again, take your time, but keep practicing it so that you get more comfortable with it. But be easy on yourself. It takes time to learn. But in the meantime, symptoms are your guide for sure. Mohammed, thank you, Karen. Just a quick follow-up. Will the program be helping reduce and eliminate aggressive and unwanted behavior? It has improved significantly, but still some random outbursts happening. Yeah, Mohammed, I have seen so many kids improve. My own son could even be violent. You would never, ever even guess that he could even be that way today. It was because his brain was so toxic and inflamed. I always tell parents, your child is not an angry person. This is because the toxins and the inflammation and the pathogens, these co-infections, all these things are invading their brain and causing these behaviors. Couple of things that have a lot to do with aggression and real more anger behaviors. A few of the common ones, and again, it's never just one thing, so do remember that. But commonly are Lyme disease causes like rageful behaviors. Parasites cause like crazy and wild and erratic behaviors. And mercury, heavy metal toxins, and lead cause a lot of really aggressive and irritable behaviors. Once we clear those from their system, then things start calming down. And Mohammed, it sounds like you have already seen some of that happen with whatever you've been doing. So I would guess that you would have pretty good success here in the program because things have already shifted from whatever else you've been doing. Now, I'm excited to see you really have the entire A to Z plan and the right things to do, specifically in the right order, and definitely help your child to, get as best as they can be. That's what we want to reach is their highest and most full potential, whatever that is for them. Because yes, every child's level of recovery is different, and that's okay. What we want is to know what their optimum results could be, and that is from doing the full A to Z with the right supplements in the right order, and so nothing important gets missed. And that's what this program offers you. Absolutely. And that's why it's different from every other program out there. Sylvina, is it really necessary to use activated charcoal? She is not taking anything, trying a better diet so far, yet besides her medication. Um, so, um, So try if you can to take the activated charcoal away from food, but you've joined the program. So the binders, the first supplements that we start with, everything on the quick guide, all of those each support the detoxification pathways or different parts of detoxification. So I would go to those and start at the first one, listen to the very short, 3 or 4 minute video I have on it and, guiding you more on it. And then there's some text also next to the page that will help to guide you in how to start. So, but listen to that video because um, it does give you some background as to what to look for and where to start because it's really one drop about 3 times a day in the beginning for a couple of days. You're slowly easing into it because we don't want to throw them into an extreme die-off detoxification process. We want to help things happen, but slowly along the way, and therefore safely. So yeah, look at that. That's what I would really start with, and it's a lot easier. Some of those binders are because they're in liquid or powder form, are honestly a lot easier sometimes than charcoal. If your child will take a pill, then the charcoal's great. If they won't, it's best away from food. So you need to open it up and pour it into, maybe some type of a beverage that they'll drink, just to get it in them. If you have to, in the beginning, I'll say you can use a little charcoal with food just to get it in them. It will absorb some of the food, but that's okay. At least you're getting it in or getting some in because most people have to hide them if their child won't take a pill. In the program, I've found liquid or powder for almost everything we needed in the best, highest quality products. However, once in a while, the best and highest quality product that we needed for our sensitive children with autism and that specific, part of the program that that product helps with, maybe it only came in a capsule form. So in that case, you can always open up the capsule and pour it into any food or beverage. And each thing will tell you if it's best taken with food or away from food as well. So I give you those guidelines as well. So the activated charcoal is kind of, especially now that you're in the program, it's kind of a side extra thing to have for heightened days when you see that you might need a little bit more assistance. But as you move forward and you implement the steps in the quick guide, you'll be supporting those detox pathways so things can get better. But we start again with very, very low dosages of everything because we want to make sure that we're it takes time to really kind of rebuild the strength there where it's gotten so weak and so backed up with toxins. The liver is our organ of detoxification, and it is so congested in children with autism. They're even often born with a congested liver, and then processed carbohydrates and other foods and other environmental toxins come into their life. And in utero, moms, we pass on any co-infections, pathogens, but also environmental toxicity that we have. A lot of that is passed on to the baby, especially today with our environment being so toxic. So I always say to mom, dad, grandma, everybody should really, the whole family should get healthy and do this together, the whole program together, because it's usually that the rest of us have things, and all of us are exposed to environmental toxins every day. Um, Sudeep, uh, is the membership available throughout the year? Someone wants to join when they come across your program, but enrollment's not opened. Then the link will usually take them to the wait list. And that's what I definitely suggest doing now. We're looking at what we can do to support people in between, and for sure, because I know nobody wants to have to wait. So we're working on that. What I suggest is make sure that they're on my email list, because every time I make any type of put an event together, like I had with the empowerment program, or I put out a new podcast, I have one coming up that's going to be really helpful on Lyme and some prevention and things like that naturally. But like once a week when we're not an event, you get a couple more emails because we want to make, like today, reach people before enrollment closes. But otherwise, it's like one email a week and it's of value. So if they get, say, my 7 foods guide, which is the top 7 foods to eliminate, which is something that everybody really should know and have. So if you send them to my website, my homepage will have the link to this, that right there will have something that I offer as value. And so if they like the food guide is for one, then if they click on it and they put their email in, they get the download, but then that will add them to my email list and they can unsubscribe at any time. But again, I offer a lot of value through other places. But if they're on my email list, then it's a way for us to reach them when we are opening things up and making, offering an event or offering the membership open enrollment. So definitely, please, please, because I don't want anybody having to wait. I don't like that at all. But right now, when I do these events, I have a huge influx of new members, which I'm thrilled about. But I want to make sure too that I'm all in and available for everybody with that huge influx. So that's why we close it down, because it's me wanting to support people heavily. So usually, again, things are written in pretty good order. The program's been out for 7.5 years now, so most people find the answers or have the answers they're looking for. It's usually when people try to do too much or get into overwhelm because they're like, well, what about all these other products? So don't worry about that now. But so most questions are answered. But I still, like, if somebody has something come up, I just want to make sure that I'm best available. So that's the only reason. So Yeah, I mean, you also tell them before midnight tonight, they have the ability to join now. But yeah, have them get on something from my website, naturallyrecoveringautism.com. The 7 Foods Guide is right there on the homepage. They click on it, they'll get the free download, and then they'll be on my email list. And so I'll be notifying people of things. Let's see. Sudiv, when my son was born, he didn't gasp oxygen for a few seconds. So we're thinking there might be an inflammation that formed in the brain due to lack of oxygen during birth. In this case, how did the membership program help to reduce brain inflammation? Can you guide us? So everything, literally everything that we're doing in the membership program is to reduce inflammation. It is the the root cause of that comes behind everything else, whether it's heavy metal toxicity or gut inflammation, gut issues, or a pathogen or a co-infection that are causing the body to create inflammation to fight off whatever that is. And the inflammation makes the brain inflamed and can actually even damage the brain. The good news is that most of this is really reversible. It's called epigenetics, and the brain can and does heal. It's very plastic, elastic, but the brain can and does heal. So we can reverse much of the damage and help the brain again become strong and healthy again. And that's what we want. So that is, basically the things that we do are only going to help anybody with their health, overall health, detoxification, which then, of course, is the symptoms we see are just an outside symptom of an underlying root cause. It's, and if you were in the empowerment program, you saw me walk through all 4 stages and why I'm so adamant about you have to cover all 4 stages. You can't just do only gut healing and detox and expect to get the full results and have your child reach their full potential because there are other toxins and co-infections and things that have to be worked on. It can help beginning like with the diet, of course, and some detoxification. Yes. And that's what we want to do is some people want to just see what can be done. And that's great. But to further that, then that's where the membership program comes in for the A to Z. You want to be able to implement things that are going to help reduce those underlying root causes that are causing sleep problems, problems with speech, behavioral and anger and irritability issues, mood instability, inability to focus in a classroom, causing hyperactivity, anxiousness, name it. Everything that we deal with with our child, all their symptoms are a symptom. And those symptoms come from an underlying cause. And as I keep saying, it's not just one thing, it's usually a multitude of many things. So we want to clear all of them. One thing, too, if he's low oxygen at birth, you may also have him benefit from hyperbaric chambers. Those can sometimes be really helpful too. And I have a link to it in the members program, and I've done a podcast on it. But hyperbaric chambers, when there's low oxygen or somebody's really like on the lower end of like fatigue all the time versus the other end of hyperactive, but the lower end, they're usually the ones that benefit. Hyperbaric chamber might be good for him, especially since he was deprived of oxygen at birth. Um, Mohammed, excellent. One last question for me. How important is physical activity in your program? I have noticed that walking and doing other physical helps. Mohammed, I am a huge advocate of exercise. I exercise every day, usually more than once a day. It helps our blood. It helps oxygenate our brain and our blood. So again, how is it suited for your child? For sure, exercise. Absolutely, every child, regardless of autism or not, or every human being should be getting exercise every day. And physical health, absolutely. because again, it does so much for our health, especially with increasing the oxygen levels in our blood and then therefore to our brain. But I always tell people, don't underestimate the power of exercise for stress reduction. It is huge. I mean, even if you can just go for a walk, it is worth it. Take your child to the park. Anything that you can do. And outside nature is really, really important. Getting your feet in the dirt, in earth whenever possible, because a lot of the time we spend so much time on cement that we're not really getting a lot of earth. I have a whole piece on the home environment protection page in the membership site. And your bonus, if you join today, to remember, is the environmental protection resource guide that I created. It's a 13-page guide on environmental protection, uh, things in around your home to be aware of, because a lot of people don't know how many toxins in their home and even things they may be using daily that are toxic that can actually contribute to your child staying ill and not getting better. And then solutions for each, not just, oh, this is what they are. Well, good luck. It's like solutions. And one of them is protection for electromagnetic field pollution. We are bombarded with EMF radiation every single minute of every day now. And they say that the pathogenic bad bacteria in the body is able to survive and thrive up to 600 times more in the presence of EMS. So I have a safe, easy, and natural way to protect from it. And I think that's super important, very, very much. Sylvina, thank you. Steve, thank you. Okay, great. It looks like we've completed everything. I truly appreciate you being here, and I really look forward to helping you get the best results with your child on this journey. And hopefully this also can help keep you more have more peace in your own mind and in your own life along the journey as well, knowing that you really have a true path to follow that has had immense success, um, and support and guidance on the way, of course. But I really know that, our kids and the whole family really deserve to have the answers we're looking for, and to save a lot of that time and the expense and the stress that we're under and make it a simpler process. I mean, it's not always easy, but it can be easier. And knowing again, you have an A to Z path that is in a specific order that you can follow, and somebody to ask your questions to along the way if they come up, then I think that that really does help. And it's really why I created this for you as a parent and for your child, absolutely, to get the best results. The transformations I have seen other parents get from following this program have been life changing. And that child, just like my own, may have had a very different future and adulthood if they had not found my program. Because most people that come to me find me this way are because they've already been searching and they've been trying and they haven't gotten the results they wanted. And they come here and then they get these results that they're looking for. And so I'm always just so grateful for anybody that finds me, and that we've been brought together and that you were able to find me when you did. So again, share this with and my website always with as many people as that could benefit, even in the future, that you come, send them to my website, um, so that they at least have the resources to know that I exist, and that I offer this program to them, because I want to be able to help as many parents, children with autism, as possible, and help as many children, therefore, with children with autism, those children, and help them to again live that happier, healthier, and more fulfilling life that they absolutely deserve. Thank you so much for being here. Be sure to join the membership program before enrollment closes tonight at midnight. naturallyrecoveringautism.com/membership will take you to the page, and you can learn all about it. The click on the link to join, and within 5 minutes once you submit, you'll get an email in your inbox. If you don't see it within 5 minutes, check your spam folder. That should be there. Any further questions besides that, we have our support is support at naturallyrecoveringautism.com. But yep, make sure you don't miss the deadline if you haven't joined yet. And feel free, please, to share it and my resources with as many parents as you know, so that we can help our community get what they need. Thanks so much. Take care, and I'll see you on the inside. Bye for now.